I'm not ready to lose him. That thought gripped me as I sat on a weathered bench outside Memphis General Hospital, my fingers twisting together until they ached. The spring breeze carried the faint perfume of magnolias, and sunlight glinted off the hospital's sleek windows, but I was numb to it all. My husband, James Sullivan, lay inside, tethered to life by tubes and monitors, battling a disease that struck without warning. Passers-by chatted about mundane plans, dinner, errands, life, but I was anchored to a world of sterile rooms and the endless hum of machines. James was my rock, the man who could spend all day carving intricate designs into oak, then come home to make me laugh with his quiet humor. Now, he was fading, and I was sinking with him. 6 months ago, we were dreaming big, trips to places we'd only seen in magazines, a bigger home for the family we hoped to start, maybe a puppy for the backyard. Then James started dragging, his face pale, brushing it off as just work. But the exhaustion clung to him, followed by bruises that bloomed without cause and nights when his breath came in shallow gasps. The diagnosis hit like a freight train, aplastic anemia. His bone marrow was failing, his body betraying itself. Without a stem cell transplant, the doctors said, his chances were slim. I tried to stay strong, holding his hand, whispering, "We've got this." But alone in our bathroom, I'd sob into a towel, terrified. James had no family to turn to. Orphaned young, he'd grown up in foster homes, with no clue about parents or siblings. Finding a donor match felt like chasing a ghost. That morning, the doctor's words sliced through me. "Sarah, we're running out of time." Without a donor soon, he didn't finish, but the weight of it crushed me. I was a nurse, trained to save lives, yet helpless to save the man I loved. Our life together flashed before me, our cozy Memphis cottage, the cedar table he'd built for our first anniversary, the handwritten note taped by our fridge, "You're my forever." The thought of losing him was a knife in my chest. Then, as I sat in the hospital garden, fighting despair, I overheard something that sparked a flicker of hope. Years ago, I met James at a dive bar in Midtown, celebrating the end of nursing school. He walked in, hands dusted with sawdust, carrying a toolbox, his presence steady and warm. Our eyes met, and he asked to join me with a shy grin. We talked until closing, about his love for woodworking, my dream of helping kids, our shared hatred of pickles. His laugh was like sunlight breaking through clouds. From that night, he was my constant, leaving sticky notes with silly drawings, bringing me daisies from a farmer's market, building me a bookshelf because I'd mentioned needing one. We married under a willow tree, his vows raw with emotion, tears in his eyes as he promised me forever. Our cottage became our haven, filled with his handcrafted touches, a porch swing, a carved headboard. We dreamed of kids, but my body wouldn't cooperate. Failed treatments and negative tests broke my heart, but James never wavered. "You're enough, Sarah," he'd say, holding me through the pain. "We'll figure it out, adoption, whatever. You're my home." When his illness struck, it was subtle at first, fatigue he laughed off, bruises he couldn't explain. Then came the night he woke gasping, his hands clutching his chest. Tests revealed the truth, his bone marrow was shutting down. A transplant was his only hope, but with no family, the odds were brutal. We joined the National Registry, but the wait could be months, and James was slipping away. In the hospital, he'd joke about the Jell-O, trying to keep me from worrying, but his eyes betrayed his fear. I'd lie awake, imagining a future without him, the emptiness unbearable. That day in the garden, 2 nurses nearby chatted, unaware I was listening. "That Sullivan guy in ICU? Looks just like a mechanic I know from Willow Creek." My heart lurched. Willow Creek was a small town 2 hours away. A coincidence? Maybe. But it was the only lead I had. James had always wondered about his roots, once considering a search for his birth parents but stopping short, afraid of rejection. Now, this overheard snippet felt like fate. I took leave from work, packed a bag, and kissed James goodbye, promising to be back soon. He sensed something but didn't press. The drive to Willow Creek wound through fields and hills, my pulse racing with fragile hope. In town, I stopped at a diner, showing James's photo to a waitress. Her eyes widened. That's gotta be Caleb Reed. Lives out on Mill Road. She gave me directions, and I drove to a modest farmhouse, heart pounding. Caleb answered the door, tall, with James's hazel eyes and square jaw. I showed him the photo, my voice shaking. This is my husband, James. He's dying. They say you look like him. Caleb stared at the image, his face paling. Come inside, he said quietly. Over coffee, he shared his story, a mother who gave up several kids, including a baby boy she left at a hospital. I was too young to stop her, he said, voice heavy. I've always wondered where he ended up. When I explained James's condition, Caleb didn't hesitate. If he's my brother, I'm in. Let's go. We drove back to Memphis, Caleb's truck trailing my car. In James's room, the air stilled as they locked eyes, seeing themselves in each other. I think I'm your brother, Caleb said, voice thick. James's tears fell as he whispered, I thought I was alone. The tests confirmed it, Caleb was a near-perfect match. The transplant happened the next day, and as James recovered, color returned to his face, his grip stronger each day. Weeks later, we brought James home to our cottage, Caleb now a fixture in our lives. They'd sit on the porch, swapping stories, piecing together their shared past. Caleb gave James a worn leather journal, a keepsake from their father. It's yours now, he said. Neighbors sent meals and notes, their kindness a reminder of humanity's warmth. James started carving again, crafting a new swing for our porch. One evening, as we walked near Willow Creek, James squeezed my hand. I thought I'd never have a family beyond you. Now I've got Caleb, too. I smiled, tears falling. Family finds you, James. Sometimes when you least expect it. By a bonfire at Caleb's, laughter mingling with the crackle of flames, I leaned against James, his warmth grounding me. Our story had teetered on the edge of loss, but it ended with love, a brother found, and a future reclaimed. Life, I realized, could surprise you with hope just when you thought it was gone.